My name's Sayer.
My name is Daniel.
Morgan.
My name is Kelly Michaels.
I fall into the category of a lesbian. As for gender, I haven't decided, kind of. I fall in the gender fluid spectrum.
I'm a G. I'm gay. 100%.
Bisexual.
I am bisexual.
Well, I've kind of half come out. So I'm out to my parents and my two sisters and my close friends, but I'm not out to really extended family, not really to strangers. I kind of decided that I'd tell people if they asked, so when my mom asked, she kind of got hints and she was like, so are you gay? What are you? I then felt comfortable saying, yeah, I am, gay, or at the time I thought pansexual, but later gay. My whole motivation was that if they caught on and if they asked, then I would tell them and be honest about it. So I'm not extremely expressive to people I don't know, but if someone asks me honestly, I'll tell them. I'm not gonna lie to people, I'm not gonna lie to myself, but I'm not completely comfortable with extended family or anything, knowing to the point where, if they don't ask, I'm not going to say anything,
I came out in 2006, about 9 months after I had moved to Chico, California. When I had the opportunity to move to California, I was like, yes, I can get away from the Southeast, from this bigoted place, and eventually probably come out and be myself in California, and I am so grateful.
I didn't, technically. People assumed. They just know. If they don't know, they ask and I say that I am. But, I don't have a problem with it. It's just I don't tell anybody, but it's not a secret.
My coming out was really more of a process from a sophomore year to senior year. I'm not even really fully out to my entire family, or to most people I know.
Essentially, my biggest struggle is, not really knowing how people are going to react. It's, I still feel uncomfortable with it to a degree because it is still something that I know people will judge you for, and you can't really tell from person to person what their opinion's going to be or how vocal they're going to be about it. I kind of wish that I could come out in full and talk about it more openly, post more on my Facebook per se, or, I've never had a coming out post or anything like that, just because I don't feel 100% comfortable, and I feel like that's my current struggle. Past struggles have been generally where I grew up. Our high school and our other, our general area is very conservative. I feel like for the longest time I was tricking myself because I insisted for the longest time that I was pansexual because I felt I'm attracted to this and this. Well, I feel like I need to include certain things even if I don't 100% feel it. I've been in long relationships with guys that never really came to full fruition, and I never understood it until I started to kind of analyze that and realize that, certain things weren't sticking. And for the longest time I convinced myself that I was something that I was not.
Remember, the first struggle was the culture in which I grew up in eastern and western North Carolina, in the 60s, when the word gay and homosexuality were not even words that were used because nobody even agreed that they existed. They just didn't talk about it. Nobody ever was gay. Nobody talked about being gay. It was a non-issue. Everybody was straight in everybody's mind, and everybody had to act that way. That was probably the biggest cultural obstacle to overcome in trying to figure out who I was. I went ahead and followed what everybody wanted me to do, but I found it very, very difficult and not satisfying and didn't understand why, and it took me years to figure that out because of cultural society norms. And the religious aspect of things was the second biggest obstacle. That Protestant kind of conservative religion said that anything having to do with homosexuality was wrong, it was a choice, and I didn't even think about it. I didn't think of myself that way. I was a good religious preacher's son that wasn't me. So I denied that part of me for years and years.
My grandparents, they said that I was a sin and that I was never going to go to heaven. I said, darn it.
My struggles were finding my place within the bisexual community, where my preferences lied, and coming out to family. It's quite a struggle to see them have to struggle with knowing you're not what they thought, and it kind of hurts.
Well, I think it was like probably the most funny because I know my mom, she was the first to kind of ask me outright because she picked up on a lot of the hints that I was dropping, but she wasn't surprised. And neither was my dad, and he actually still jokes with me, makes lesbian jokes with me and stuff. It's I think that's the funniest thing. And both of my sisters, my older sister, neither of my sisters actually fall, neither of them are straight. Both of them, I think my older sister identifies as pansexual and my little sister is bisexual. So neither of them were surprised, and they were actually pretty happy about it. Friends, it's kind of been an area where there's mostly just been support, which I'm really thankful for. I haven't, some people's horror stories are they've lost friends, and I haven't lost friends over it, thank goodness. Everyone has been generally very supportive.
And so when I finally coming out to the church that I was serving as a minister at the time, that was a big step. But because I was in California, the church didn't care whether I was gay or not. Some of my friends, like a lot of those girls that I used to hang out with in college and growing up with in high school and so forth, a lot of them were like, well, it's about time, and we're totally in support of you, and they didn't have a problem with it. And they saw it before I did. And so that was really comforting to know that group of girls, that group that I used to hang out with, were like, yeah, we always knew it anyway. My male friends had much more difficulty with it, the ones from back in the Southeast. The friends that I had here in Chico, in California, none of them had a problem with it. I had more problems with my family that was back in the Southeast than I did anything. My father was very supportive. My brother was real accepting. My sister-in-law was real accepting. But my distant family, some of my cousins that live in eastern North Carolina, I have not spoken to since 2006. Even at my father's funeral, they didn't have anything to say. They just disowned me completely for claiming that I was gay, because in their mind it's a choice, and they think that's a sin, and they think that's wrong, and they think I deserted them instead of them deserting me. So I still don't have anything to do with them, and that has been really, really hard. But I had to give up that family and find a new family here in California.
Everybody was supportive. You're just knew it. Duh. I knew that already.
So I told my family, my sophomore year. So, yeah. And my family, it was hard at first, but eventually they just learned to accept it. My friends were always supportive. I lost one or two.
And so when I finally started to come out, it felt like I had a moment of real revelation. So it was extremely freeing. Like, I can't really even describe how it felt. I just felt way more comfortable in my own skin. You lose an aspect of self-consciousness too, because once you start to realize yourself, it builds a little bit more of your confidence up. Even if there's other fears still outlying, it makes you feel better as a person.
Myself, finally. If I can tell people who I am, and in California and in Chico here, I have not had one person give me a hard time about it. I can love who I want to love. I don't feel weird about that. And I'm finally free of living in that prison that I used to live in. And that to me is terrific.
Not really. No, not really. I've gotten away pretty easy compared to most. A lot of people have been super supportive. I didn't lose any friends really, and my grandparents still talk to me and stuff. They just think I'm disgusting.
I've grown up a lot more. It didn't take long for me knowing that there was something different to me actually starting to come out. Because I'm not one to keep secrets. It's just not something I do.
Advice I'd say, first and foremost, be honest to yourself. Then you build up the confidence needed to take other steps if those, next routes are available to you. Being honest to yourself is what is the most important and is an important first step to actually being able to tackle the rest of your issues. Because if you're not honest to yourself, like if you lie to yourself or trick yourself or try to make yourself believe something that you're not, like say me convincing myself that I'm pansexual rather than lesbian, if you trick yourself into thinking you have to be this way because you're told this way, you're not going to make any forward progress and you're going to feel worse.
The coming out process is a lifelong process. I would say number one, be honest with yourself. Mm-hmm. That's the hardest obstacle. Then the second most important thing is to find the right opportunity and the right time and the right people, a brother, a sister. Mm-hmm. And once you come out to those people you can trust, when it starts feeling more at ease to be yourself with them, then you'll have the courage to come out to your family members, siblings, still be confident about yourself, and come out to people that are not going to disown you. So you can get stronger and stronger as you come out to more and more people.
Surround yourself with good people, because there are people that will accept you and love you for exactly who you are. And you just need to find those people. They are out there. Even like online, there's so many websites like Tumblr and YouTube. It's hard to say get rid of the people because some of them are your family, but sometimes, don't surround yourself with negativity. Surround yourself with positivity, because that's what helps me out. It's just really important to surround yourself with people that love exactly who you are and will support you no matter what. And they are out there.
It's a process. You have to start with one person at a time, and you got to make sure you can trust those people to not spread it faster than you want it to be spread. Coming out's like a fire. But, if you know the people who you're around are okay with it, you gotta at least let them know. Be who you're gonna be. It's cool that you may be gay, or you may be bisexual, or you might be a lesbian. That's fine. Just because you're gay, just because you're bisexual, doesn't make you any better than anyone else, and doesn't make you any less of a person than anyone else. There shouldn't have to be a pride. We should be able to just exist, just as everyone else, without a fucking parade every year. And make sure to be yourself. I know it took a long time to get here, but we're here. We came, we conquered.